stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome everybody to Sim Racing Media. Tonight we are live with the SCL Winston Cup Series from Chicagoland Speedway. I am Mike Timoni up in the booth on Monday night as usual. Joined with me is Zach Woods. Zach, how's it going, man?
Great race last week to cover, and looking forward to a very unique car track combo as we're treated now to a race here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, definitely. We did have a pretty good race last week. Justin Lewis was able to bounce back and win by 0.083 seconds. Todd Merkel got third by 0.094 seconds. So it was a close run race. Had a little bit of everything last week. This week looks to be a little bit different track, but these guys have definitely been putting in the practice laps, and it shows, as in practice the top, like, I'm gonna say almost 16 are separated by less than a tenth of a second.
Yeah, the racing here is going to be very intense because there's going to be a lot of different ways drivers are going to be able to attack this racetrack here at Chicagoland with the current iteration of NASCAR race car, because you can either decide to keep this thing hooked up to the bottom and really roll the center of the corner and make sure that you preserve your tires as the run wears on, or you're gonna find some guys today that are gonna be a little brave, maybe a little too early, and decide to run up against the wall and get those big launches all the way down this long sweeping backstretch here at Chicagoland. So a lot of different ways you can attack this racetrack, and drivers normally have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we were watching practice, they were using every groove they could find. So, like you were saying, though, there are several different ways to get around. So there will be some comers and goers depending on where they are and how the track is treating them. As right now, Barrett Flo is about halfway through his first qualifying lap.
And something unique here about Chicagoland that makes it different than a number of ovals we see on a traditional league that runs a NASCAR schedule is that the backstretch isn't straight. It is bowed. It's a long sweeping corner. It's not obviously classified as a corner, but there's no straight areas here at Chicagoland. You're always seemingly turning your car and trying to be as smooth as possible.
Definitely Barrett Flo up there with a 30.87. Klaus Williams also got a 30.87. Bruno Latour with a 30.89. Jeremy Flanagan a 30.93. I mean, these guys are definitely battling it back. Here was Barrett Flo, a 30.71, so he goes top of the board right now.
Yeah, a number of fast drivers here this evening. Taking a look here at Todd Merkel, who's riding a string of good finishes here this past week for SCL competition. Watch out for that bright neon number 2 machine to make some noise here.
Yeah, definitely. He kind of faded back a little ways. He's down into 9th as a couple faster drivers jumped up towards the pole. Maxwell Caldwell, a 30.68, and Johnny Lefevers Jr. did the same right in a row there. Isaac Love, a 30.72. Mike Peters, a 30.74. So these guys are definitely figuring out the track here.
Yeah, and it's going to change as the race wears on. Right now, we're sort of in the evening in terms of sim time, but it will change. And you can see right now here on these qualifying laps that there is some shade around this racetrack. And it will progressively get more shaded as the night wears on. So these drivers are going to have to manage perhaps one end of the racetrack being a little slippier than the other.
Yeah, that's always something to kind of look forward to or think about as these guys are making their laps here. Justin Lewis up to 4th position here, finished his qualifying lap there. Lilith Peters, our current points leader. Same with Justin Lewis. They're tied actually at the top of the board right now with 535. Maxwell Caldwell back about 15 points with 520. So you can see as Lilith Peters gets into that shaded area.
Yeah, and here for SCL Cup competition, you have to remember that they use the old Winston point system. So you do get a bonus point for leading a lap, and but where you finish at the end of the race matters. And we have been talking about the last few weeks here for SCL competition that it is a struggle sometimes to get to the end of these things. So there's no stage points, there's no gimmicks, it's just straight racing. So watch out for that top 3 battle in our points to get tight as we continue on through the season, because although 15 points might not seem like a lot, it is a little bit of a mountain to climb here in the old point system.
Yeah, you really have to have somebody make a mistake. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to catch them usually because the points are so different than they are now, you know, in the current cup system.
Looks like we are nearing the end of our qualifying time. I have about 10 seconds here, and then we're going to get set for, oh goodness gracious, we're going to get set for a 3-minute drivers meeting. They have this every week to go over different rules and parameters of the race. As you can see, the transition now we're into evening.
Yeah, so that's definitely gonna change the track temperature a little bit. Track temp 70 degrees, air temperature 67, so not too much. You got 3-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah, take a look at that time there. We're drifting in the 8 o'clock hour, 8:30 right now. So sim time as the sun has gone away. Clouds will continue to roll in. The track's going to grip up, and we're definitely going to be in for a treat tonight. These drivers are going to be super aggressive as the track cools down, and they're going to be able to weave in and out. Let's see who's going to make their way up through the field tonight. Taking a look all the way up here through our starting lineup here at Chicagoland. We have Johnny Lefevers Jr. snagging the pole. I think that's a new name for us up here in the booth. I don't really recognize Johnny, but welcome to the club. He snags pole, grabs that away from Maxwell Caldwell, rolling off second. Lilith Peters is joined by Justin Lewis in row 2. Alongside Barrett Flo will be Isaac Love with a good qualifying performance out of that 62 machine starting in 6. Mike Peters is hopefully going to have a quiet day trying to manage his race car from the 7th position. Starting alongside him, Michael Matta, another good qualifying effort, starting 8th. Row 5 will feature Adam Lowe and Klaus Williams, 2 drivers who are sporty early on in a run. Take a look for these 2 drivers to make their way up through the field early. Trevor Dalton in that 30 genuine Miller draft is going to make his way through the field from the 11th position, followed by Richard Sudeth, who is qualifying here in the 783 machine. Also, moving on down here through our starting grid. Gonna wait for the grid. There we go. Matt Miller. There he is. A different paint every week, it seems, for Matt. Now he's driving the Cheetos 716 machine, and Jonathan Casebeer in row 7. Matthew McMeekin in the 041 machine. Very familiar paint scheme for our viewers out there. And to his outside will be Steven Johnson in the 44 machine. He often drives that black Fanatec machine. He's going to start 16th. Mark Brown in the 73 Big Lemon Chevrolet. That's a good paint scheme to see out here. You're not going to miss Mark in that bright yellow machine. He's starting 17th, and then 18th, another bright machine, TJ Allen, who is new for us up here in the booth. 005 on your scoring pylon, but he will be driving the number 5 on your screen. Todd Merkel rolling off 19th in that bright yellow Merkel Racing Engines machine, followed by Joshua Yarborough starting 20th.
And then we'll go back to Bruno Latour and Zachary Archer. Then we got Justin Horton and Jeremy Flanagan in row 12. Row 13 is Justin Sorrell and Ronnie Hurst. We have Derek Wagaman and Chris Vanderplatz. Blank Madu and Matt Schlossler in row 15. Row 16 is David Hanna and Chad Jones. Eric Peterson and Ryan Farrell. And then starting shotgun on the field is the number 52 Ford of Chris Melton. So Johnny Lefevers Jr. shows up and grabs the pole in that 45 Chevy. We'll see how he can handle it once they get going here.
Yes, and for our viewers tonight, they have to know that this is a 100-lap event here in the SCL Winston Cup Series. So 100 laps here around Chicagoland is going to be a sporty event on this 1.5-mile racetrack. And these drivers are going to be super excited to attack a track that is ready to be raced. As you can see, it's partly cloudy, but the temperature will continue to drop as the night wears on. We have 2 to green as they continue to pace around the field. Just a reminder for anybody who might be new in watching SCL Cup competition, there are a few rules that you need to be aware of for your favorite driver out there. There is a incident count penalty for various incident count markers throughout the race. This happens when a driver runs off course or maybe hits another driver, scrapes the wall. You can get them in a various ways, but every 21 incident points, these drivers are going to have to go through the pit road for a pass-through penalty. And when you hit 29 X's, well, you're out of here. You are disqualified, bumped down to the last car on your respective lap, and that is where you will be scored for tonight. One fast repair for these drivers, and these all of these competitors, I'm sure, are rip-roaring and ready to go here at a very, very fun racetrack.
They definitely are. And you were talking about that incident limit that did come into effect a couple times for us. Not so much here in the Cup Series, but in a couple of their other series, and changed the outcome of the race. So definitely something to look forward to as these guys get set to go, coming through 3 and 4.
Side by side will be the 45. The new guy, Johnny Lefevre Jr. on the inside lane, paired up with the back-to-back champion of Maxwell Caldwell there in that 94 under pressure washing services Camaro. 2 bow ties leading them down to the green flag, and we are underway here at Chicagoland.
And Johnny Lefevre got a pretty good jump there as he slides up to that high line. Lilith Peters down low. Justin Lewis back in third. And back behind them, looks like Mike Peters, Isaac Love, and Adam Lowe all kind of were trying to go to the same spot almost.
Well, they were all jostling because they thought Justin Lewis was going to just instantly cut across Barrett Flo's nose there. They had a bit of a moment there for 4th place going into turn 1, but it seems like every driver here has it all sorted out.
Yeah, Justin Lewis was definitely trying to get in that high line as quick as possible. And we talked about several different running lines here, and you have Johnny Lefevre about a couple cars down, but looking back, Mike Peters was almost up against that wall as he dives down to the inside of Barrett Flo and try and get a spot. And we are under caution. Don't happen. Joshua Yarborough, maybe?
It's probably the 77 Toyota of Joshua Yarborough. Just seeing him on timing and scoring. No, happened in front of him. The 872 and the 783 machines getting into each other. Yarborough does a good job to slow that car down.
Yeah, let's go back here. Oh.
It's Jeremy Flanagan.
As everybody jumps to the pits, it looks like. So Jeremy Flanagan got turned there a little bit. 5 here.
So some of these drivers are gonna have to sort things out, I think, in the midfield and the back of this pack, Mike. There's a whole bunch of cars here for tonight's event. Doesn't mean that there's no running room out there. It just means you have to be a little patient, make your way back up through the field. If you got a bad qualifying run, you got a car better than the drivers around you, you could certainly lose the race right now, but you certainly can't win it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to kind of take your time if you're back there. I mean, if you know you have a fast car from practice and you just messed up your qualifying run, then just take your time, work your way through the field. It's a 100-lap race. You're not going to win it on lap 3 or 4 here, but they were kind of spread out trying to figure out where they all were going to go, and just got a little too close for each other at the end there.
And it's so easy to mess up a qualifying run here at Chicagoland because when you scrape the wall or you happen to get an off-the-track incident, iRacing doesn't count that lap when it comes to your qualifying effort. And for these drivers that are boogieing down the back stretch, you might forget that backstretch is not straight. And if you are a driver like me who likes to be right up against the wall, you're going down the backstretch, it's very, very easy to scrape it. Mike, we saw even in that first lap and some change, some drivers going way, way up towards the fence. A ton of possibilities to earn some incident points tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you get a little bit loose there and you're gonna go right in that fence, but we'll see what
Oh, this is interesting.
picks the high side.
Yes. Lefevre's decided, hey, I I didn't like that low line, and I was questioning that choice before this race got started. Saw the 45 to the inside. I just thought it was particularly odd. You know, you want to kind of roll that high line, get that run down that backstretch. It's not a guarantee you're going to be able to run the corner well here on the low side, but I don't know, maybe the 45 didn't like his launch there on the restart.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he did get a pretty good jump, and it seemed like almost everybody wanted to be in that high line that's around him, so we'll see what happens here. If Caldwell can get a good jump, he might be side by side and able to take the lead away from Lefevre's here pretty quickly here as they stack up and look like they're getting ready to go here. Pace car is in. They go to hit that Geico restart zone. And Lefevre's gets a good jump, so Caldwell is probably going to slide up behind him here. We'll see what happens as they come out, and Caldwell does. But Lilith Peters was all over that back bumper as well.
A little bit of a late move to the high side was the 94, and I think Lilith cut him a break there as there was a little bit of give there on the outside lane. These drivers are now starting to battle behind the 45 now for second.
Yeah, you got the 94 there of Maxwell Caldwell, Lilith Peters, Mike Peters making a way up there a little bit. Justin Lewis not too far behind as well.
Peters peeking out to the outside, but don't look now. Here comes that 07 machine of Justin Lewis. Is he able to wrap the bottom? He's about a quarter of a groove lower than Caldwell is through the corner, but you got to be careful. If you get too much wheel into it, you will spin on the exit of 2.
It's interesting to see how these guys are running, because they all seem to be almost right up against the wall when you come to that straightaway and then kind of fan out through the corner.
Ooh, Lewis just shutting the door there on Lilith Peters. What a move to claim third place.
Fastest lap of the race there too, 3:76. So he is definitely moving as now Mike Peters goes to the high side of Lilith Peters and is going to be battling back there for 4th place. He has it for the moment. We'll see if he's able to keep that speed up as they come off the corner. And I think we just kind of saw what's going to happen coming off of 4 there as they keep sliding up and slamming the door on each other in that high line.
Yeah, and that requires all parties to get on the same page with one another. Look at Peters side drafting the 95 Raging Canes machine down the backstretch. Now look behind them. Barrett Flo and Isaac Love have entered the chat. They want a piece of this.
Yeah, and just behind them, you have Trevor Dalton, who just put down the fastest lap. So these guys are definitely figuring it out here. So they're almost 4 wide through the track there.
Yeah, these drivers are putting on a clinic. Meanwhile, back up front, Justin Lewis has made a pass, or is currently trying to anyway, trying to make a pass for the lead here.
You got that battle there, and then just behind, a couple rows behind them, you have Trevor Dalton, and it looks like Michael Matta battling back and forth, bumping inside and out as they're 3 wide.
Leaders side drafting one another, and then right behind them, they got 3 wide action going on. There's lots of racing everywhere. Lewis edging out now in front of the 45 pole sitter of Flanagan. Or Lefevre's, excuse me.
And I go back here and look at the action mid-pack here. Got Matt Metler, Adam Lowe, Isaac Love. As Metler catches that apron, everybody stays clear, but that could have been bad there too.
Oh my goodness, that was a wreck. Oh, and they're still beating on each other. Matt Metler and Adam Lowe just digging into the side of one another here through the corner. Looks like Lowe is going to pull away here, but the battle rages on. This is a battle just inside the top 10, and as you can see, clearly outside of it, 6 rows deep.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're side by side going back a ways there. Todd Merkel's back there. You have Matthew McMeekin, Jonathan Casebeer, Steven Johnson back there as well. I mean, these guys are trying to get up to the front as Johnson goes to the inside of Casebeer there.
A number of these drivers electing to be aggressive here very early on in this run. A lot of moves are being had back here.
I can just see them coming off of 4 and sliding up that track, and it's going to be rough here as McMeekin and Metler were battling side by side, and Steven Johnson looks like he's going to try and stick his nose up there as well.
2 by 2 as far as the eye can see. They start with Peters and Lefevers, isn't that a combo? And then all the way back through the field, it seems. Oh man, hard into the outside wall is the 58 of Justin Lowe. I think Peters also got a piece of it. Now look at Matt Meller. He's going to try the high side.
You guys are all over the place. 3 wide, up high, going past Trevor Dalton and Todd Merkel there. Matt Mettler making that high side work. Isaac Love down on the low side. And it looks like Adam Lowe is getting sucked into Lilith Peters there. We'll see if he's going to be able to draft up and make this pass. Does it look like both of them coming off of 4 check that wall pretty hard?
Look how hard Lowe just digs it into the corner. Looking to rotate better than what Peters can get a launch off. But now they're out to dry. Look at Love and Dalton battling it out back here.
Yeah, Adam Lowe down to the inside, going to see if he can make the pass as that Cheetos machine of Matt Mettler gets on the rear bumper of Lilith Peters.
A battle here raging on for 7th. A 3 wide behind him. It's a Todd Merkel sandwich back here. He's trying to get inside the top 10, but finding it very difficult as there's little room. And oh my goodness, they keep saving it. That's Mark Brown in the 73.
And these guys are just going crazy here. Todd Merkel using Isaac Love and Matthew McMeekin to kind of make the corner. Now you have Steven Johnson and Zachary Archer side by side. The 73 of Mark Brown back there as well. I mean, 3 wide throughout half the field.
It's Brown's gonna stay off of Johnson. That was a great save there by Brown, but it is so difficult in these next gens to stay behind the driver in front of you in the corner. The car gets so aerotight and you drift up the racetrack. We're seeing that a ton, especially when the cars aren't in your wake. They get in front of your wake, and then chaos happens because you're too tight on exit. And somehow, some way, this mid-pack battle is able to keep it all clean.
Yeah, Matt Mettler's making some moves up 5 positions right now. Got that high line, has Isaac Love behind him. Lilith Peters is down on the inside. Adam Lowe was able to get by, and now he has his sights set on Michael Matta there, as Lilith Peters is battling Isaac Love.
This continues to be a battle around 10th place right now. 2 by 2 by 2, as you can see on your screen, forever and a day away. Now it is Todd Merkel trying to get out around Trevor Dalton. We're starting to see a pattern here. I think if you want to be a mover and shaker, you got to ride the outside line, but will that chew your tires up as the run wears on?
Yeah, you definitely can see that high line is able to get a lot better forward momentum in this group, but at what cost? I mean, they do have 3 sets of tires laying in the pits, but still that's going to be how much time do you have to stay out, or how much time do you lose once you start wearing out those tires?
These drivers are so aggressive back here, zigging and hey, what a race we are treated to here early on here at Chicagoland. Again, we're continuing to focus on this battle around the 10th position just because there's so many drivers weaving in and out. The lines are different every single lap. What an effort by these drivers.
These guys are going at it like crazy, and just in front of them, I mean, you even have Adam Lowe, Isaac Love gonna start battling out momentarily here, and just in front of them, these two guys, Mike Peters and Barrett Flo, are getting side by side. Mike Peters down on the low side, gonna see if he can make that pass.
Two veterans of SCL competition going at one another here. The 2 and 95, they race each other very, very hard when they have the opportunity to be around each other, and nobody wants to give an inch here. Let's see which line prevails. Will Barrett chase him down the track? No, but if you're, gets a little squirrely there, hooking the apron. It is slippy right there if you're on that white line through the tri-oval.
Yeah, you don't want to be down on that apron, but that apron seems to be almost the fastest way around the track at the moment.
Flo is able to clear the 95. Now it's Michael Matta's turn to try to get around the Raging Canes Ford on that high side. Once again, it just continues to be really effective. I think especially on this end of the racetrack in 1 and 2, where these drivers are getting the good run off the corner, but then they're getting the toe down the backstretch. And if you can't clear on the low line, you can see right here, the draft of the drivers on the outside just freight trained you.
Yeah, he was trying to make a move. You could see it was working for a little bit, but then all of a sudden that outside line just, came up and just ran away, as now Michael Matta is going to bat Barrett Flo down on that low line as Mike Peters goes up high. Matta and Flo side by side almost into the doors of each other, and they are. Matta goes low. Wow, holy.
A huge block on Mike Peters there as Matta had a giant run out of turn 4 the last lap. It enabled Mike Peters to probably get a 2-for-1. That's exactly what Matta was shooting for a lap ago. It's not the case as Peters gains the position just for this lap. I guarantee you it's going to change next time around.
Yeah, he needs to get up in front of Matta if he wants to stay where he's at. And it looks like he's able to do that, but you can see when Matta and Flo got basically into each other's doors, it slowed both of them down and allowed that 95 Ford to make that pass as Michael Matta's battling back. Trevor Dalton was able to get past Barrett Flo, so now he is up into 6th position, looking to get inside that top 5.
Super aggressive racing here from Michael Matta. He wants this position right now from Mike Peters, and I don't think he's going to get it here on exit. Not quite there. He's going to have to side draft going down the backstretch. Nope.
You almost have to get back in line and try and get that toe coming down the backstretch to make that pass. But because it's just been working so well, as you see Trevor Dalton down to the inside on that apron, see if he's going to be able to make any ground, and it doesn't look like he does, but he's been running down on that apron quite a while here.
Taking a look back up here at the leaders, we have a 3-car breakaway between the 94, the 07, and the 45 machine. Lefevre's was in danger of drifting back through the pack, kind of squeaked out of that last battle we were covering, and has made his way back up here to these two, and they're trying to run away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, we didn't see that pass for the lead of Maxwell Caldwell, but these guys are definitely running away from the field, so to say, as you look at the gap between Lefevre's and Mike Peters, and it's over 2.5 seconds right now. So, and it looks like it's, well, I was going to say it was growing, but it looks like it's kind of stabilized right now.
Yeah, and you can definitely get away with like working together and drafting with one another at this track to run away from people here. If you just stop battling with each other, you can really push people down the backstretch. We've seen the huge runs that drivers get from the outside lane, make up a ton of time, and then ultimately have the ability to pull away. As I didn't think that that was quite clear, but it looks like Steven Johnson gave a little bit of grace going into turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 wide still, as you have Johnson and Lowe side by side. Definitely 2 veterans here doing battle, so a little more give and take than some of the new guys may or may not get, but
Michael Matta, let me tell you, it's super aggressive right now. Just trying to side draft and get everything he can right now. He was trying for the 4th position, but now he's trying to hold on to the top 5.
yeah, as we were watching these guys battle up here, DJ Alian is up to 7th position now, up 11 from where he started, so definitely moving in the right direction, kind of taking his time, it looks like, but he's been pretty much staying in the high line, not really going anywhere else, so we'll see how long he can stay out with the tires, or if he starts to lose a little bit of time.
Yeah, and you have to wonder who's the comers and goers. Now we're starting to see some drivers really pick them up and put them down here at this part in the run. We're at lap 34 here of this fuel run, and now we're going to see who took care of their stuff. And if I'm willing to wager, it's going to be some of these drivers who've been diligent, who have stayed on that low line for the start of this run, didn't abuse their stuff early, didn't saw on the wheel, didn't work that right front, and now you're going to see them start to make their way up through the field.
Yeah, one guy who went the other way is 716. He was up battling inside the top 10, and now he is back to 29th position right now. So definitely definitely not the way he wanted to go.
Yeah, Matt Matler, he was racing really hard on that outside lane, and we had made some comments about him, but he was also some of the earliest and most aggressive drivers out there, so definitely paying for it now, and I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah, I don't believe it will either. As I click on the 40 Chevy of Ryan Burrell here, he's up 17 spots, and it looks like he's just kind of been moving steadily up through the field here.
That classic Petty Blue number 40 machine. But when Ryan's in this league and he's able to race, he always seems to race a pretty diligent style of racing. He's very disciplined, and that does make him quick. And at a track like this, where you're really excited to get a whole bunch of run and be able to pass people early, you kind of feel like a superhero out there on fresh tires. It could fall into the lap of a driver like Farrell, because he's going to just be patient, take care of his stuff, and now's the time where drivers like that are going to shine.
Yeah, looking and just look through the field here. The 38 Chevy of Zachary Archer has that Skittles machine going in the right direction, up 10 right now. McMeekin and Lowe are kind of just hanging out there. Doesn't look like they're gaining too much ground, but they're not really losing it either, so.
Yeah, and this is a battle back here for 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, and 15th. We'll throw Brown in there as well. And, these drivers are still sporty here. They are definitely going at it here throughout the field. There's lots of great little battles to be had now, as opposed to the big gaggles that we covered earlier in the run.
Yeah, these guys definitely have got spread out, and you can kind of see everybody moving in different groups. Still some side-by-side racing and stuff. Go back up front here, as it looks like Mike Peters has caught Lefevre's and is going to take that 3rd position away.
Yeah, Lefevre's lost touch with Caldwell and Justin Lewis. We actually got to see that happen live, and ever since then, the 45's sort of been drifting back. Might do him well to find a drafting buddy here in Mike Peters to work his way back up to the front two who have checked out.
Yeah, the gap between Mike Peters and Justin Lewis and Maxwell Caldwell is over 2.5 seconds. And it looks like it's starting to kind of, I'll say stabilize, but it's still slowly growing, I guess you'd say. So if Peters and Lefevers can hook up and kind of draft and work together, they might be able to close this line. But right now, it's the Caldwell and Lewis show.
Yeah, and these two, they really try to work together here. You can see how that happens. With the 94 racing the lower line, it's arguably slower here on exit, right? Look at the toe and look at the run that Lewis gets. He's going to pack all that air on the 94 machine, push him down the backstretch, and then they're going to redo that here in the opposite end. As the 94 drifts up, Lewis is going to get a big run, and ultimately the goal is to get that 07 a little bit closer to the 94 and continue to pull away from the field. They might be able to execute it a little bit better here as Lewis was much closer to Caldwell.
Yeah, you can just see the way that even though they're running, a little bit different lines, they're still giving each other those big pushes, all around. Go back in the field a little bit here to Trevor Dalton. Michael Matta, Lilith Peters is kind of battling back as Lefevers is still fading backwards just a little bit as Flo was able to get by him as well.
Yeah, Lefevers. Again, a new name for us here in the booth. We don't quite know how long that 45's been associated with SCL Winston Cup competition, but had a great qualifying run. It's starting to fade here about at the 2/3 mark here, and not going to drift back too far, right? He was able to hang up there with the leaders, but some of these drivers who might have been saving their stuff are going to catch them pretty quickly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when these guys get to him. If they can kind of stay together, I don't think it'll be too bad for him. But we'll see what Matta and Dalton do here. DJ's still up, almost up against that wall.
Yeah, this group has not quit racing. This particular group before, they've just been back and forth and duking it out here for a little while. This is a battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. As look at that, Steven Johnson just shutting the door there on Zachary Archer, trying to get in line. That line is so important going down the backstretch.
Yeah, you definitely want to be in line, otherwise you'll get shuffled and wind up going towards the back. Everybody kind of spreads out as they head down the front stretch.
And then just look how different these drivers attack this corner. You see the 5 moving up a little bit. The 44 wasn't quite on that low line, so he was able to be aggressive and make that work. Let's see if he rotates the car here better through 3 and 4. And Archer will probably go with him, so watch this. Johnson's going to get a big push here.
Johnson's going to get that big push down the middle there, and as we were watching that, looked like we had our first car come to pit lane, and that was Michael Matta there.
Yeah, we talked about how there's going to be drivers who are maybe looking more forward to new tires than others. We saw Matta earlier on in this be super aggressive. As you can see, Johnson a little squirrely there on the transition, but I'm sure Matta's very thankful he's got new shoes on that race car.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be happy with that as Barrett Flo comes in. Looks like K-Spare's in. Lilith Peters came in as well. Matt Metler, Chris Vanderplatz.
Yeah, and this makes sense, right? We're at lap 50. So, simple math. Half of 100 is 50. So your fuel window is open. And these drivers are very quick to come down pit road. And rightfully so, right? These two leaders up here have checked out. And you want new shoes to kind of dig into this gap. Is I think we're going to... Nope, he faked me out. I thought Caldwell was going to go down pit road. But... these drivers that are more so in the back are trying to gain on these two up front, the 94 and the 07.
Yeah, they have to do something different in order to catch them. They're probably going to be able to at least cut in a little bit of time, depending on when Caldwell and Lewis pit, but it's not going to be a huge margin because these guys are still pretty fast on track.
That and the perk of waiting, right, of drawing this out is that you're going to be quicker at the end of the race. So what do you want right now? Do you want to be able to cut into maybe the driver you were racing around? Well, you're probably going to pit before them, but you're going to have to fend them off because when they get new shoes, they want to try to pass you later on in the race. You're going to have to manage your stuff to have some fight left in you by the time this one's over. And this is a prime time for cautions here, Mike, because I've been in the sim before, and over a long run like this, sometimes you forget how to race the car when it's got new tires on it, and that could lead to some mistakes. Yeah,
that's one thing you see quite a bit watching how many ever broadcasts we do. You see guys get those fresh tires, and then as soon as they hit that blue cone, they hit the throttle and they wind up in the inside wall or outside wall or something like that, So it's definitely something to watch out for. And also, they're faster than the faster cars. So sometimes that plays an issue on how they drive it and where they try and go. So we'll see if that's going to be an issue here, as over half the field has now made their way to pit lane.
Yeah, and you saw a little back and forth there as now the 94 is going to dive onto pit road. Caldwell making his way, and he might have sped, Mike. He might have sped. He locks it up here going on to pit road.
That is definitely not something you want to see, as the lead was given up to Trevor Dalton here. Trevor Dalton going to get passed by a couple lap cars there.
Dalton's got his hands full right now. They were going to go by him on both sides, and he didn't quite know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, you got those faster cars, on the newer tires. I mean, you're going to be faster than them, or you were faster than them, but sometimes it's best just to kind of back off, let them go by, and you settle into your line. But Trevor Dalton has a pretty, almost a second lead over the second place driver, Steven Johnson, now.
And here's Bruno Latour and that 71 machine. New paint for Bruno this week. Racing a league paint by the looks of it. He's going to get his lap back, making his way around the leader. Take a peek at some of the drivers. Maybe some of your favorite drivers have went down pit road, and you're just tuning in. You're going, wait a second, why are they lapped down? Well, it's because we're in the middle of green flag runs right now, and these drivers are now debating, especially the ones who are on the lead lap, how long do we stay out? Trevor Dalton right now is gambling on a caution. He wants to trap as many drivers a lap down as he possibly can, and it also manage the fact that he's going to have the freshest tires in the field towards the end of this race, so he's going to be able to pick off a lot of these drivers now that are working really hard to get their laps back.
Yeah, looks like 10 drivers right now as Trevor Dalton heads to or I was going to say heads pit lane, but he just loves that apron.
Oh,
Caution is out.
Wow, this changes everything. Holy moly. The caution that about 7-8 drivers wished for is going to happen here.
Yeah, just say uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. And that is Maxwell Caldwell, everybody. That is your two-time defending champion. Talked about the point situation at the top of the show, how Caldwell was 15 points out, sitting in third in points. And we also covered the weird transition between the apron and the racetrack. Look, it gets so squirrely here, so loose as this car transitions.
Jump on board here.
Right about there. Catches, overcorrects, tries to save it. And that is the end of his night. As he has disconnected, he's done. Well,
Yeah.
Mike, this changes everything, right?
Well, he did exactly what we were talking about earlier when we kept seeing those drivers kind of hit that apron there. He just barely caught it, and you lose all control for, that little bit of time, and that's what happens.
Absolutely. And it is a race-changing caution because only 10 drivers right now are on pit road, and that's because about that many are still on the lead lap. And we're going to see a number of drivers take the wave around because every single lead lap car had to pit. But this does flip the field, and Trevor Dalton will have the track position he wanted, along with a number of drivers who we haven't talked about today because they were deep in the field.
Yeah. I mean, any driver that stayed out or looks like even pitted early, because Michael Matta is up here in 6th right now. He pitted on lap 48, but Chris Melton is 11th. He pitted on lap 60, and then everybody after him pitted on lap 54 or earlier.
Yeah, so this definitely switches stuff up. We're going to see how beneficial clean air is, right? As we saw early on, Justin Lewis and Maxwell Caldwell teaming up, running away from the field. Didn't really get a good idea about how much clean air affected the pack as a whole. We saw ferocious racing for quite some time, and then the pack sort of spread out a little bit. I don't quite know if we're going to have the opportunity to see the field spread out so much, because a lot of these drivers here, I'm just looking through our top 5 right now, started deep in the field today, and this is their first time they're in the top 10.
Well, yeah, just looking through the scoring here. Trevor Dalton up 10. Then you go back to Steven Johnson, 14. TJ Alaline, 15. Todd Merkel, 15. Matt Schlosser, haven't heard him all day, up 25 positions. Blank Madu, up 23. So, I mean, the top 6 have moved quite a ways of this field.
Yeah, it's crazy, and definitely could be a race-changing moment for some of these drivers. As you said, there's a few of them here we haven't talked about all day, and really excited to see how they fare up front now, as generally speaking, the field has been turned on its head. Justin Lewis, of course, the other half of the equation is Maxwell Caldwell. He's the reason for the caution, but Justin Lewis, the other driver who is so strong, he's back all the way in 12th. So gonna have to watch out and see how some of these drivers who were very strong early make their way back up through the field.
Yeah, that's definitely something you're going to have to look out for. I mean, eight of the top 10 drivers moved up double-digit positions right now.
I love it. I love it. You hate to see a driver's day end early, right? But having a yellow in the middle of green flag runs, it's so interesting because the drivers who gambled, who stayed out the longest, we didn't really flesh that out too well, but it is a huge gamble if that yellow doesn't come out. But it did, and these drivers are thanking the lucky stars for it.
Yeah, that is something you have to look out for, but I was just looking back through the scoring here. Chris Vanderplatz came down on lap 46. I was down there for just a little bit. Looks like Adam Lowe had a penalty, spent over a minute in his box, or he was getting some damage fixed there. Wagaman, Hannah, all spent extra time in there as well. Oh, 65 laps when we get that green flag.
Yeah, really excited here. Now we're getting close to crunch time. All that given and taken we saw at the beginning of the race, Mike, I think we're going to see still a lot of take. But that's pretty much it. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of give here as these laps wind down.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to be so easy to let off the throttle pedal just a little bit here.
2 by 2 they come. It will be Trevor Dalton on the outside in that 30 Miller Genuine Draft Toyota, leading the 44 Fanatec machine of Steven Johnson. I'm pretty sure I said to look out for these two at the beginning of the race, but no matter, these drivers are ready and we're back underway. Lap 65, and Dalton gets a huge jump on the field.
Yeah, Dalton's trying to check out a little bit there as he gets over a quarter of a second lead. But back behind them, you've got side-by-side action between what, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all making their way there.
Yeah, mind you.
Ooh.
Oh, man, there's a hip check from the 5 to the 400 to the outside fence. Be anxious to see if Schlosser can catch back up. But remember, these drivers now, predominantly the ones on the inside lane, they were the strong ones earlier in this race. Can these drivers who caught a lucky break hang on?
Yeah, they're almost 3 wide now. Justin Lewis down to the inside of Barrett Flo and Matt Schlosser up high. Flo is that meat in the sandwich there.
This battle continues to rage on. Lewis trying to wrap the corner. Flo going to try to get underneath. Lewis with a block. Flo sort of juked him out, didn't he? He stayed in his lane, and everything sorts itself out. This continues to be a battle just outside the top 5.
Yeah, you got Aline and Peters battling side by side. Justin Lewis trying to figure out which way he wants to go. Lilith Peters goes down to the inside. Barrett Flo behind her. We'll see if they can make a run work there. Matt Schlosser kind of backed out after he got hip checked into that outside wall.
Yeah, Lewis is saying, get out of my way. I was up front for so long and trying to make up for lost time running that high line. Barrett Flo trying to shut the door on Schlosser. It will happen going down the backstretch, and Lilith is out to dry there on the low line.
Yeah, Lilith still staying down low. Flo and Lewis almost touched there. Luckily, they all turn their wheel the right direction and they stay off of each other.
Yeah, now Peters drifts up the racetrack because Barrett Flo stole her line. Can Flo get a 2-for-1? He's got to go from the bottom to the top, and he'll get it done. But Barrett Flo now up to the 5th position.
Matt Schlosser, and then you have Mike Peters making his way back up towards the front. He was running in 3rd before he hit pit lane.
Yeah, these drivers right now are throwing haymakers back here as They're trying to sort themselves out before the field gets too far spread out from one another. I'm anxious to see if some of these players who we haven't talked a whole lot about today are able to stick with it and stay up here with some of these competitors.
It'd be interesting to see if Matt Schlosser is able to get back up to the 5 there, but up front, Trevor Dalton is about a half second in front of Steven Johnson, but Steven Johnson's running a little bit quicker times. We'll see if he's going to be able to close in. Todd Merkel having another good day here as...
Oh my goodness. That was so close from being a 2-car incident between the 5 and the 2.
That 5 slides up and hits that wall a couple times now. We'll see if that's going to slow him down, as it looks like Justin Lewis and Barrett Flo are trying to reel in the 5 and the 2 here.
Last week it was mentioned that Todd Merkel is really, really good at just keeping people behind him. He's like the Ryan Newman of SCL competition. He's very patient. He'll run that low line and he will make you pass him on the high line. And Merkel doing it once again here at a track where the low line's not necessarily the fastest one, and he's doing a great job keeping the 5 at bay. But now I think he's going to get freight trained here as these drivers get ready to freight train the 2.
Now the 2's hanging on pretty good on that low line, not really giving up any position here as he slides up in front of Barrett Flo. Barrett Flo goes down to the inside. Looks like Merkel might be the meat in this sandwich once again.
Watch out, world. Move out of the way. Here comes Barrett Flo. He's trying to make his way back up through the field, looking to nab the 3rd position now from the 5 machine of Allen. Is Barrett's doing a really good job at hanging down there on that low line. He's going to be able to clear these 2. Sets his sights now on Steven Johnson.
I'm definitely trying to do that, and that gap to Trevor Dalton has gotten smaller as it's down to almost just a quarter of a second here, as Steven Johnson has found some speed in that 44 machine with probably a little help there from Barrett Flo. We'll see how those 2 work together to get up to Trevor Dalton and see if they can make that pass.
I was going to say, Mike, I think the 44 is a little incentivized right now. Getting really big in his mirror, so gotta go and catch that 30 car, but I'm not quite sure if Barrett's interested in running 3rd.
As he goes down to the inside, he's gonna make that pass on Steven Johnson here.
Not quite yet. Barrett's got to work for it. Johnson's not just gonna roll over for him, but ultimately Johnson's got to watch out because now he's under attack from the 5 machines, looking to defend his podium right now.
And behind them you have Justin Lewis, Todd Merkel, and Lilith Peters battling all over the racetrack as well.
Yeah, I've been watching back here as there is a caution out there on the racetrack. Trying to see who it...
Down on that apron. Oh.
Huh. Yep. Oh no, Klaus Williams. Or no.
Flag him in.
39. Hard into the outside wall. Wow. That's a hard hit. That's probably one of the harder hits you're going to have there in that Colombo Properties 58 machine.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to be on here. It looks like he barely touches, and it looks like he's going to try and save it here, but just got a little too heavy on that gas and right into the Ghost Energy Swedish Fish 38.
All these drivers now are going down pit road. Tires mean so much here at Chicagoland. We're going to have about a 20-lap stint to the end here. It's perfect time Mike, I think to have a little friendly debate over who is our under pressure washer tough luck award winner tonight. I got one person that comes to mind, but I want to hear from you first.
Well, I don't know if you can go Maxwell Caldwell because he kind of caused his own incident. I think Wagman was running pretty good and kind of got kind of taken out there. I think I'm gonna have to lean. I think I'm gonna have to lean to Wagman there because he really wasn't really doing anything wrong. Just kind of wrong place, wrong time.
Yep, that's who I was gonna suggest, and it's for the exact same reasons as what you just said. So, just wrong place, wrong time, and we kind of can't go with Maxwell Caldwell because it's a tough luck award, right? It's the epitome of wrong place, wrong time. You didn't deserve what happened to you. Make no mistake, Maxwell Caldwell tonight, two-time champion here, one of the favorites, led a ton of laps. He caused his own wreck. It was just a racing deal, but it was unfortunate. He caused his own wreck. That's not what this award is for. This is for the driver who gets caught up in somebody else's mess. And I think it should go to the driver of the 38 Swedish Fish Machine.
Definitely agree with that. So, Eric Wagman, you are the winner there.
Still got a chance, though. I mean,
yeah.
Back here, racing with some lap traffic, able to still make up some positions. A couple cautions. Maybe we're going to see him back on the lead lap.
Yeah, you never know. It looks like Chris Vanderplatz is is going to try and take the wave around here and get back on that lead lap. I mean, he last pitted on lap 46, so I mean, he's going to be on some older tires, but do want to thank Chris for sponsoring that under pressure washing tough luck award as he makes his lap around.
Taking a look here at the front row, you might be wondering, how in the world did this happen? Last time we talked about Jeremy Flanagan, he was experiencing some tough luck of his own, right? He was free falling through the field, but now he finds himself up front, and that's because of some pit strategy. Both him and Michael Matta have decided to forego pitting this time around, and now they capture the front row.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Michael Matta last pitted on lap 61, Flanagan 57, so they should be good to go. It's just a matter of if they're able to hold off these guys behind them on the fresher tires.
Well, Mike, I don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think I need one because I'm pretty certain I know the answer. Tires mean so much here. It's just going to be a matter of time before the field passes these leaders. The question is, how good can they play defense? It's Flanagan, and Matta leading the field. Flanagan gets a pretty good jump here as we are underway and then immediately back under caution.
Yeah, let's see what happened here.
Have a few drivers here trying to anticipate the restart.
64,
top line.
Yep.
40 gets into him.
Yeah, Justin Horton checked up, and then
Farrell gets into him. You know, in this kind of racing incident, it happens rows in front of you, right? With drivers trying to jump the restart, trying to lag back. And this was a problem in real life NASCAR not too long ago. You're going to see some gaps here between the 2 and the 5. You know, they're spaced out pretty well, pretty consistent gap here between these two drivers. But here comes Lilith Peters, and Todd Merkel just doesn't. I wouldn't say he didn't get a good restart. It's just not his best restart. The gap does stretch out between the 2 and the 5, and Peters is the first chain to kind of squish up, and that causes a chain reaction back through the field.
Yeah, it definitely does. So it's going to set us up for probably about a 14-lap shootout, I would say. Maybe 15.
I think so. These drivers are going to have to sort out a number of things. You see, when iRacing has a caution like this, timing and scoring can get a little wonky when it comes to when the caution was thrown and how you are scored on the racetrack. If you cross the start finish line, of course you've completed that lap, right? But if you haven't, then you're technically a lap behind, and the pace car comes zooming out, and the whole field has to slinky up and wait for the pace car to go around. It's these kinds of cautions are really, really hard to manage as somebody who races on the service. So looks like SCL's got it all figured out right now. I'm just taking a look back down through the back half of the field, and looks like these drivers have got it all sorted.
Well, hearing on the radio from race control, it looks like we're going to throw that caution on the 2 machine of Todd Merkel. So he will go to the back of the field there.
Huh. Yeah, I don't have anything to say, Mike. It's unfortunate. We're gonna be met here with 2 drivers whose goal to win this race has gotten substantially easier, right? As these are 2 individuals who decided, hey, we didn't want to pit when everybody else did. We want to go off sequence, try to catch a lucky break. They did, and we've spent a number of laps here under caution. And what was like a 22 lap goal for these 2, like you said, it's probably going to be floating around 15 by the time we get it around to the green flag. Actually 14.
Yeah, they should be stacking up this time, I would assume. So we'll see what happens here, but I mean, Flanagan did get a pretty good jump. We'll see if that's still gonna work here as Trevor Dalton and Barrett Flo make up that row 2 now.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to see how patient like the 30, the 95, and the 07 are trying to get around these 2 because they have been very, very quick naturally throughout the race, right? And then the field got flipped, and they've kind of climbed the mountain, and then these 2 stayed out. So it's like, oh, we've almost completed the job, but now there's more work to do. So certainly got enough time to do it, but it's all in the execution. So for the meantime, it's Flanagan and Matta up front.
We'll see if Flanagan's able to get that huge jump he had last time. Michael Matta was racing all over the track earlier, so we'll see if he's able to do that here on a few lap older tires than some of the other guys, as everybody else pitted on lap 78. Pace car should be pulling in this time. Flanagan heads to the restart zone. He is down and away and gets a pretty good jump. We'll see if Matt is able to slide in front of Trevor Dalton or stay up high.
Yeah, the battle now is for second as Barrett Flo's thinking about taking it 3 wide. He won't. He's going to get a push from Justin Lewis down the backstretch. Actually, he won't. Lewis was in the fence coming off at turn 2.
And just have to make a mistake, as it looks like Steven Johnson made a mistake and now is paying for it as he's stuck in the middle. As they're almost 4 wide, Peters and Johnson.
Where's Lefevers? We need him up here.
He's coming. He's coming.
There he is. There's the 45 of Lefevers. Hey, get up there. This is the battle we've all been waiting for. Peters, Lefevers, and Peters all gonna duke it out. They will. They will. Meanwhile, back up front, we got a great battle here for the lead, as Michael Matta's done a great job at keeping Trevor Dalton at bay. Meanwhile, Flanagan's saying, yes, keep battling. I need to keep hitting my lines.
Yeah, I don't want to move. I don't want to worry about anybody else, but that's going to go away here pretty soon, as like Trevor Dalton was getting a pretty good run, but Matta was all over the rear bumper of that 872 machine of Flanagan.
3 wide for the lead at Chicagoland. Trevor Dalton almost 4 wide. I was going to lose my mind, but Trevor Dalton is going to claim the lead here. They're not sorted out yet. They're still 2 wide now as Barrett Flo sends it into the corner. Look at this shot as they come out of turn 2.
Michael Matta spins the 30 of Trevor Dalton, brings out that caution.
Barrett Flo's in it.
Whew.
These 2 drivers just battling for the lead, and they were all on top of each other in their entry into turn 1, and ultimately, yeah, to track this wide, you'd think there'd be enough room, but not the case here. And the 16 just gets a big run here.
Yeah, let's go on board here with the 16 of Michael Matta on that nose.
Here's a push.
Yeah, that one's the first one. Not too bad. Gives him a good little shove, gets him out. But then, as he's coming to the exit of the corner, you'll see him get a run. And that is not where you want to be pushed.
Nope.
See. You can see here, Flo just had nowhere to go. Right into the door.
Yeah, look at Justin Lewis squeaks on by there. But Flo, this is a great save. Look at him drive this thing. It's really hard to drive these cars on the grass. But I think that pavement there sort of saved him. He gripped up a little bit for a split second and got that thing pointed in the right direction to get away from the inside wall.
Yeah, it definitely looked like that kind of saved him a little bit here, as Trevor Dalton also gets going in the right direction. So maybe we might have given that word out a little bit too soon here, but
yeah. It's already given though. No refunds. So Barrett, you're just gonna need to have more tough luck next week if you want to win that under pressure washing tough luck award. So it's already Derek Wegmans. Speaking of which, that number 39 machine's back on the lead lap.
They're running P30 right now.
So it looks like Michael Matta will be given a EOL for getting into the back of Trevor Dalton. And you know what, Mike, I have to say this because this happens to Frank and I often in SCL competition, and it's something we joke about. But there are times in SCL competition where if you wreck, you wind up better or the exact same as when you wrecked. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. We really haven't seen it before. You and I working together. But we just watched Barrett Flo wreck all the way down the backstretch without wrecking. And because of timing and scoring, and because of Michael Matta getting an EOL, Barrett is up in second. And some would argue he was third at the moment of caution. So, Barrett Flo, everybody, getting better off now that he's wrecked.
Yeah, that is definitely something that that they can be proud of with race control. They got that caution thrown pretty quickly and didn't allow Barrett Flo to lose a ton of positions there.
I know there are a number of drivers who listen to the broadcast, and I just want to throw this out there. You know, there's a big craze going around, like if you say it right, if you positive affirmation, you know, is what they call it. If you speak it into existence, it'll happen. I want nothing more than to see Lilith Peters, Mike Peters, and Lefevers to go 3 wide before this race is over. I need that, Mike. I need that for myself.
Well, they're pretty close to each other.
I know.
See what we can do here. It'll be 6 laps to go, it looks like, as they're stacked up. Justin Lewis back on that front row. We'll see if he can drive away from the field like he was doing earlier with the help of Maxwell Caldwell there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Barrett Flo on his outside might have some flat spotted tires, but he's up there in second as Justin Lewis takes control of this restart. He's off and away.
Got a pretty good jump. Barrett Flo slides down in front of TJ Alaline, and Lilith Peters is trying to get that high line to work as she gets loose coming off of 2 there. Saves it off of the wall and off of the 05 car there.
The battle is for third as 1 and 2 are apart from one another. Take a look back here through the field. They are racing like crazy back here.
There you have Flanagan, Johnson, Peters, Lefevers.
It's come on. We're so close. The 95 is in front of this group. Again, this is a battle just outside the top 5. Great job by a number of these drivers, keeping it all straight right now.
Yeah, Chris Vanderplatz went off the track, but he's able to keep it straight, and we stay green here with 4 laps to go, soon to be 3 as they're making their way through here. As now we're going to have Peters, Aline, and Peters. And look who's coming up right between the cars behind them, Lefevers.
Come on. As they are 4 wide, looking like battling for 3rd place. And we are under yellow again here at Chicagoland. We're going to have a green-white checkered. Oh, that's Chad Jones in 75. Ooh.
Whoa. Let's go back a little ways here, because that did not register when it actually happened here.
Yeah, there's more happening in front of him.
Yeah, let's look at the 64 there. Oh, this view here. 64 is all over the back bumper there of, looks like the 99. It's off of him.
Into the fence a little bit.
Yeah.
99 in the fence. 64 in the fence. Still in the fence. 77 in the fence.
Yeah. 75 was trying to just make a line there. And look who...
Todd Merkel squeaks on by. But look at David Hanna here. Boom. Oh, Case Beer's in it. Michael Matta's
Matt
in
is
it.
in it. Flosser
Oh.
missed it.
Adam Lowe, not really slowing down there.
Wagman didn't stop.
Neither is the 39. Look how quickly that happens. Wow.
On the nose here of Flosser. Just gets through it there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Mike, we're going to be treated to a green-white checkered here in SCL Winston Cup Series action. For our viewers at home that might be watching this, rooting for your favorite driver, just know that SCL competition only has one attempt at a green-white checkered, which simply means these drivers are going to take the green flag and they're going to go one lap around Chicagoland and then get the white flag. On paper, what they should do then is go one more lap and then the race will be over. However, if there is a yellow flag that comes out at any point during this green-white checkered, the race will be stopped. When iRacing triggers a caution, the field will instantly be frozen and the finishing order will come off of where those drivers are at the moment of caution, assuming that they complete the pace laps required to finish the regularly scheduled distance of this race. So if your favorite driver is hanging out here, I would say in the top 5, they certainly have a chance to win today.
And your wish might be coming true here as Lilith Peters is in 3rd, Mike Peters is in 6th, and Lefevers is in 7th.
I'm ready, Mike. I am ready. These are the things that broadcasters should dream of. Just tricky wordplay and man, this is great. A driver I want to highlight here hanging out in the top 5 is in fact the driver hanging out in 5th place. We take a look back here at Blake Madu, rookie in SCL competition in the 833 machine. Benefited from the field flip-flopping when that yellow came out. He was kind of towards the end of that pack of drivers who benefited, but he's hung in here. He's really been able to hold his own. I've been very impressed with what Blake's been able to do.
Yeah, definitely. And as this is the only green-white checker here, I wonder how patient or how much patience they will show on this restart once they get going here, or if it's going to be, throttle down and see who's left at the end here.
I know drivers have been frustrated not getting to the ends of these things, so we're going to see if they can all keep it together and race one another hard here for a green-white checkered event. 2 veterans of SCL competition will lead them down. The 07 of Justin Lewis and the 92 of Barrett Flo, followed by a field of hungry competitors. Green-white checkered here at Chicagoland, and they're gonna touch getting through the restart zone. Lewis and Flo. Lewis moved down, and that's gonna be very hard to officiate.
And
it's over. It's over. It's over. The race is over. It's an invalid restart. Wow. It's an invalid restart, which means the race is over. I have never seen anything like this.
Well, I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Thanks. I cannot hear what race control is going through. But let's take a look here, Mike, on the broadcast. I know RC tunes into the broadcast just kind of see what's going on. Let's go back. Let's take a look here at this restart. Again, the 07's got control of the race, leading them through the Geico restart zone. But what happens here, Mike, is the '07 drifts down into Barrett Flow's lane. At least that's what I'm seeing, Mike. What's your opinion?
That's what it looks like to me. I mean, I'm going to say that Barrett Flow's going to take the win here, but we'll see. Let's see.
Well, Barrett, like right here, right?
Let's go back here a little ways and see what happened here, too. Oh, the field got all stacked up, too.
Oh, is this the reason why there was a caution?
Michael Matta?
Well, either or. I mean, this has to be the reason the caution was thrown, right?
Well, it was that according to my scoring was after the caution was thrown, but I don't know, man. But still, we'll have to see what happens here. As let's see if what this is saying here.
Got cars flipping, got people going through the infield.
Yeah, everybody's having a little fun there.
Yeah. Well, let's... I don't want to jump the gun here, Mike. I just want to... How about let's double check? Doesn't hurt to double check.
Yeah.
Especially in the last few weeks, we've been experiencing some crazy finishes here in SCL competition. So let's bring Josh Cherritt Hill up in the booth and see what he has to say. Or if you can hear him on race control, then we don't have to.
It doesn't really say. It looks like they're saying Barrett won, but so I'm going to say that that's probably the way it's going to end here.
Okay. And then we might not need to.
And the way Barrett's burning out, I'm going to say that it was just official, and looks like Justin Lewis and Lilith Peters will round out the podium here.
All right. Well, Mike, I'm going to bring in our third place finisher. Up in the booth, we now bring Lilith Peters. It's Zach Woods and Mike Damoni. Do you have a copy?
Hello.
Hey, Lilith, there was some crazy racing towards the end of this one. There's a strategy got flipped. You had drivers deciding to stay out, and ultimately it did affect the finishing order of tonight's event. But talk to the fans out there in terms of how your night unfolded here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, it was nice up until the last 20 laps, I guess. I tried undercutting there, and I was going to be in the lead, and somebody screwed it up. So, it is what it is. I'll take a third place. I probably was like third quickest anyway. So it was alright.
Yeah, you were pretty sporty out there in that 101 machine, and just being able to bring it home third after the race, you were absolutely right. With 20 laps to go, was very clunky, and drivers were struggling to find a rhythm. And that meant on restarts, it was so important to get what you could right away. How were you able to take advantage of the restarts as they unfolded as the race neared its end?
I kind of figured out that the high line was the way to go for passing, usually. So it just kind of became a big brain plate track, I guess. Gotta send it and stick it.
Big brain plate track. I love it. And so, Lilith, I want to leave this time up to you for thank you, sponsors, and shout outs.
I'll thank my primary sponsor, Luna Steak Sauce. You can buy it at foxfirefoods.com. I had all my teammates today, I think. Jeremy, he finished good. Justin, he didn't. Mr. Metler, I saw him up here, but he fell back. I don't know. And thank you guys for broadcasting.
All right, Lilith. Well, congratulations on a podium. You said you had the third fastest car and you finished third, so not a bad effort for tonight. Go and enjoy it.
Good night.
Well, Mike, I'm gonna pull up for you here our second place finisher, Justin Lewis. I'm gonna leave you to it, Mike.
Hey, Justin, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
I wish we were first and not second, but that restart was apparently I was cross-eyed, so that wasn't good. About killed me and Barrett.
Yeah, we were sitting there watching. We're like, what in the world? I mean, I get side drafting, but yeah, you guys kind of touched, but you were able to get off of each other. Kind of walk us through kind of what happened, because I know you're on the radio listening to what's going on, but kind of what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I thought I was going, through the tri-oval, and apparently I was coming down as I was going through the tri-oval. So by the time I hit the gas, I was basically turning myself off of Barrett's nose the whole time. So I had to like regroup, and of course, with no chance to race it out, and him getting the draw out front there, and the caution coming out right away, he kind of got it. But I think if we could have got back green, that could have been a good race, especially with he kind of ran out away with me before that caution came out in the first place. So I think it was going to be interesting, but you can't fix how iRacing's wonderful cautions are.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like you guys kind of had some guys get stacked up there at the end, but with only one green-white checker, you come home with a second place finish. You were out front for quite a while here, working with Maxwell Caldwell. How was the first part of the race for you?
It was good. We, Max, Todd, all of us in the chat earlier, we worked on kind of getting the gearing set up for this race last night to make sure we had a good multi-groove gearing set up, basically stock setup, change the gearing, and let her ride. And we took some time with that. We kind of tested it out to see where you could go and who you could pass and if you could pass and what lines you could run later. So we kind of had a little bit of an advantage, but it was, open to everybody like we always do. It's not just a little secret group, of course. But we had a bunch of guys jump in there and try to help out, to, give opinions for gearing. And we came across what we wanted, so then we kind of practiced it. But kind of using that into tonight, obviously, was cool because I pretty much knew right away where I wanted to be, but I also knew where I needed the car to be. I wanted to be up top, and that's my favorite place to be. But when it comes to tire saving, you have to commit to the bottom, or in 20 laps, your car is going to be blowing turn 2 and turn 4 just clean off the racetrack. So it was going well. Kind of got out to the lead a little faster than I wanted, and then I kind of had to hold myself to being up there. But after we got by that 45 car, I tried to pace for Max, and then once Max got to us, we just kind of had to ride with him, and then he was good on the bottom, so then I just figured, you know what, we're going to pull away here anyway. We'll go to the top and kind of see what happens, but his caution really screwed us. We were going to come out and be probably me, Mike Peters, and him for the win, and then he had to eat it on the front stretch there, which that sucked, but it was going to be interesting, and then that caution almost ruined it.
Yeah, that caution flipped the whole field. Half of them didn't pit, and luckily you were able to battle back through the field and come away with a P2 finish. Anybody you want to thank for that second place finish tonight before we let you go?
Just the team, Max, Todd, those guys were good to work with. And then you guys in the booth, always killing it. Kind of waiting on where the hell Austin's been. I don't know where he's been, but I think he's still out on vacation. So hopefully have him maybe Wednesday or next week again, and then we'll be good to go.
Definitely. All right, well, we'll let you go, Justin. Congrats on your P2 finish, and maybe we'll talk to you later in the week or next week.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
All right. Well, he sounded pretty chipper for finishing second, but I guarantee you that he won't be more excited than our race. It's Barrett Flo now in the booth with Zach Woods and Mike Damoni. Barrett, do you have a copy?
Hey, guys.
I'm going to let the guy in charge, Mike, here, ask all the big-time questions of our race winner here tonight.
Hi.
Well, Barrett, that late race caution, you were able to keep the car off the wall and able to start in P2, which gave you a little bit of a better position than you would have had after the EOL given to Michael Matta there at the end. But how were you able to kind of stay up front there?
Well, we just had, this is a good track for me, and I felt like we had a really good car. Probably Maxwell and Justin were probably the class of the field. But in that first long green run, we were running comparable lap times. It's just that, you get to racing people side by side. It's hard to get away from folks. But it just kind of, we short pitted, and we were going to be in the catbirds, seat. And a couple more cautions, and then for whatever reason Justin chose the outside, which I was like, that's not a good choice. And I don't know if he got loose on the start or just, I don't know, but got into our door on that last restart, and it was just enough to let us get out front, and the caution came out, so we were lucky.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but you were both tonight. You were all over the track making several different moves, the high line, low line. That car seemed to be doing almost whatever you wanted to do tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't make the high line run like some of the other guys. I was kind of middle bottom, something like that. But yeah, just a really good race. I thought everybody did a really good job.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, you guys ran 60-something laps without a caution, had a green flag pit stop, and everybody kind of worked their way through. Well, it looked like you kind of got one of the cars that got flipped there a little bit, but able to make it back to the front here and bring home a win here in the Winston Cup Series.
Yeah, I was tickled to death with it. I hate it for Justin. I think between this series that's on Monday nights and then the late models that are on Tuesday, I think he has lost 4 in a row on the last lap. So not good.
Yeah, definitely not a stat you want to be a part of, but he was able to get a P2 and you got the win. Anybody you want to thank for this victory tonight before we let you go?
Yeah, just everybody at the SCL League, Josh and Adam for all their hard work. Really appreciate what they do. This is a good league to get to race with.
Yeah, definitely. You guys show up with car counts that are crazy, 35 tonight, and you guys only had a couple cautions there towards the end of the race, and were able to run pretty well here at Chicagoland. So we'll let you go, and maybe we'll talk to you later this week or next week.
Okay, bud. Appreciate it.
Later.
Yep.
Well, Mike, I think we've only got one more thing to do. We're going to take a look here at our finishing results from Chicagoland. It's Bear Flow. We're going to bring it home P1 after a crazy late race restart snafu. I don't think we ever really got to the answer of what actually the caution was. Was it the invalid restart or was it the wreck in the back? We don't know, but doesn't matter. Justin Lewis is going to bring home the second place position tonight, followed by Lilith Peters. TJ Allen is going to come home fourth with Mike Peters in fifth. Blake Madu is going to bring it home sixth tonight. That rookie with a strong run in that 833 machine, followed by Johnny Lefevers Jr. in seventh, Jeremy Flanagan in eighth, and Stephen Johnson ninth. And Matthew McMeekin is going to round out the top 10 for tonight's event. Zachary Archer going to finish 11th in that number 38 machine. Isaac Love in that 62 Kellogg's throwback machine going to finish P12 tonight. Mark Brown is going to come home 13th. Klaus Williams 14th. Chris Melton 15th. Trevor Dalton 16th. 17th will go to Bruno Latour. 18th is Eric Peterson. Joshua Yarborough 19th. And Justin Sorrell 20th.
Todd Merkel 21st. Derek Wagman, Matt Slosser, Ronnie Hurst, and Jonathan Casebear round out that top 25. Chris Vanderplat's 26th. David Hanna 27th. Justin Horton In 28th, then we go back to Michael Matta, Adam Lowe, Chad Jones, Matt Metler, Richard Seduth, Ryan Farrell, and Maxwell Caldwell. Causing that first caution, finishes in 35th position.
Well, I think we got treated to a good one here tonight, Mike.
Yeah, definitely. They had a little bit of everything. The first part of that race was crazy. They were all over the place, 3 wide, 4 wide sometimes, and they were able to keep it green for such a long time. And then, cautions kind of reared their head towards the end of the race, but it was still good racing all over the track.
Yeah, we definitely were treated to some fantastic SCL Winston Cup Series competition. If you want more, don't worry. We here at Sim Racing Media cover SCL competition Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. Don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, as well as all the other leagues that we cover that Mike was so nice to pre-program for the foreseeable future for us. During some of the leagues that we cover, feel free to take a look at what's on the docket next, and who knows, maybe we'll see you out there on the racetrack real soon. For Mike Damoni, my name is Zach Woods, and we cannot wait to see you again from the broadcast booth here on Sim Racing Media. Have a good night.